Welcome. Today I want to talk to you about how we think about innovative change in clinical trials at Wicked Problem Wizards. So there's two components kind of driving innovation and how you need to innovate. And I'm going to put them here as guardrails. So the first one is the environment. And in clinical trials right now, this is generally the regulatory environment, right? So something changes in regulations, or your organization has a finding in an audit, and you've got a regulatory environment change. And the big change that we're talking about right now is the shift to E6R3 and the remaining shift from E8R1. E6R3 is about going from a checkbox type activity to one where you're really fit for purpose and you're context driven. E6R3 is around fit for purpose, and E8R1 is critical thinking. All right. The second side to innovation and change is really the ability to do deep thinking. But we all know it's not enough to have a great idea. You need to then be able to communicate that thinking. And I do that. The tools that I use to do that are around my models. I have a complete set of models that explain how to drive change and how to increase your organizational maturity. So we've got our two constraints. Now what I want to do is say we're going to start down at the bottom. So everyone says if you're going to drive change, start small. And you start off with what is the problem. You hit the deep thinking, you come back, and you cycle yourself. Go up, what happens here? This is progress. So progress, you start small on one problem, you do some thinking, you come back. But there's a couple extra steps in here to think about. So we're going to start with a pain point or problem, right? What problem do we want to solve? We're going to then partner with the people who have that problem and or people who can help solve the problem. So all work happens in an organization in a partnership. Then we're going to propose. Right now we're over here, right? So we've partnered, we're going to propose. Now I'm over here on this deep thinking and communicate. So I'm going to think through it, a possible solution. And then I'm going to practice and persist. So why practice and persist? Well, practice is you learn by doing, right? So let's go do something. If there's no action in this model, all you do is think and you go off on this side and you never actually solve the problem. So this is the no action line. The practicing and the persisting that brings you back to where now you've got the next pain point, right? What else? Pain or problem. You actually do tend to step down. It's actually true. You often, when you go to try to solve the next problem, sometimes you have to give up a little bit of space and then you come back and you keep looping up. Right. So feed myself back into my environment and practice and understand as I go back into that environment what the solution is going to do for me. Then I end up spinning out here and I don't go anywhere. If, on the other hand, I'm not willing, the only thing I do is focus on the environment, all I end up is whinging, right? Said, oh, it's too hard, I can't do it, I don't understand how to do it, and you don't make any progress there either. So as we move up, though, here's what's fascinating. Each time you come up in this cycle, and if you come back up higher, right, what are you going to get? You're going to find that you've got this, what happens up here, right? What are we, trust-based impact, right? Each time I come back and I grow a few more people, I'm building trust and I'm building impact. Now, you're going to say, okay, that's really nice. My projects do this. You go up, you go down, you come up, you go down, right? That happens, right? Sometimes you get stuck in a particular hard part and then you're back spiraling and then you can come back up and do it again. But the key is that overall, you're progressing up this line and you're building this trusted impact. And you're doing that again from identifying a problem, right? So you identify the problem, you partner with people, you propose a solution, and you practice and persist. We believe that this is the way to drive progress in clinical trials, and we have a model that helps organizations work through these environmental changes with R3 and E8R1 and other types of similar changes, tie it to the deep thinking and the communicating that we bring to this partnership, and we will partner with you and help you drive trusted impact. If you're interested in learning more about our models, please check us out at Wicked Problem Wizards or send me an email. Thank you.